From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
Kids to reach for the stars. We want to do that in our communities. We want to reach for the stars in all of those communities that they're in.
How one wished 15 years ago in a trip to Disney World could help create more inclusive societies in Indiana. Changes for schools across Indiana when it comes to responding to COVID-19 cases, and it all goes into effect tomorrow. What parents and students need to know.
My throat started, I started doing this a little bit. I had my mask on and I told my husband, can you roll down the window? I'm having a little bit of problem breathing.
Some people are concerned over potential side effects of the COVID-19 vaccine. Working for you, our team separates fact from fiction. Welcome into the news at 11 here on WRTV on this Sunday night. I'm Nicole Griffin. For the second straight night, some of us are dealing with single-digit temperatures, and now some areas of central Indiana are getting snow. Meteorologist Kyle Mounts shows us where that snow is falling tonight and how cold we will get. Kyle.
Yeah, Nicole, so far that snow band has been very narrow as we expected, and you can see it's really been just north of Indianapolis. Flurries and light snow showers out there, but with temperatures as cold as they are, it doesn't take long for that to stick to those surfaces. Lebanon, Crawfordsville, though, dealing with some of that light snow shower activity, and that extends through portions of northern Hancock County and around Newcastle as well. Now, there's more snow back here into portions of Illinois. That's going to continue to slide into central Indiana here through the overnight hours. As far as accumulations, you can see it's generally about a ½ inch or less from Indianapolis to the north here as we go through the overnight. We look from IMS there toward the city, and you can see we got lots of cloud cover, the snow just north of town right now. But the good news is those clouds are holding temperatures pretty steady. We're still at 10 degrees. Yeah, it's still cold out there, but at least the thermometer's not tumbling too much. We'll be down to 1 for you in Peru tomorrow morning, 8 in Indianapolis. We'll talk about another round of snow on the Monday forecast coming up.
Kyle, thank you. Due to the severe cold, warming shelters are open right now in central Indiana. We have a map showing where those warming centers are and the information you need in order to stay there. That is all up on the WRTV app and right on our website, WRTV.com.
No matter what your life circumstances look like, no matter your background, no matter your socioeconomic status, know that you can dream. And I think for Make-A-Wish, it's that starting point.
A wish granted by the nonprofit Make-A-Wish 15 years ago continues to inspire one Bloomington couple. Nikki Dementry shares their story on the impact a trip to Disney World had on them both and the role the organization plays into the couple's mission to create inclusive societies.
Best time of my life, honestly, one of the best times of my life outside of probably getting married.
A wish that lasts a lifetime.
I had never known anyone to ever go to Disney World. I come from a low-income background, first-generation college graduate, that kind of thing. And so this kind of felt like a dream come true.
A trip to the happiest place on earth, thanks to Make-A-Wish in 2004, continues to inspire Tyler Kelly. At 12 years old, he was diagnosed with lupus.
It encouraged me to dream big, to never give up on my dreams. It's motivated me to continuously give back and serve others like I was served. And it's really just inspired me as a person and kind of keeps me going when I think about, that really rough period of my life.
Kelly's mom, grandmother, and little brother tagged along. And he says now the wish means more to him than it did 15 years ago.
And about 4 years ago, I lost my 18-year-old little brother to gun violence. And so, though he's gone, I can look back on these memories.
And all of us here.
This past summer, the Kellys were able to take their young nephew, who never had the chance to meet his father and Kelly's brother, to Disney World.
Even just hearing Tyler's story, I've heard it so many times and I get chills every time.
Inspired by her husband's story, Justice, who some may know as the current Mrs. Indiana, started working and volunteering for the Make-A-Wish Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana chapter about 2 years ago. The Kellys' passion, build inclusive societies.
Where does Make-A-Wish fit into helping build inclusive societies?
I mean, that's huge for us. That's something that we are constantly talking about and making sure that diversity, equity, and inclusion is a part of our day-to-day conversation. And I think that looks like the families we serve.
Justice says in August, the organization's local chapter introduced a diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative.
It's really helping us to grow and asking those questions like, where can we diversify? How can we be intentional about recruiting diverse Wish kids, recruiting diverse stakeholders?
As for the future of Make-A-Wish, the Kellys both say it's only growth from here.
I think it's just diving into where Make-A-Wish has had an impact and inviting those people to join us and creating an impact for others.
And from my perspective, it is more children, more families having hope, right? In a time of a lot of craziness around the world. This gives everyone an opportunity to come together, to love one another, and to move forward in peace and unity.
Nikki Dementri, WRTV.
Nikki, thank you. Starting tomorrow, changes are going into effect for schools across the state when it comes to quarantine requirements. Last week, Dr. Christina Bach said it is rare that student COVID-19 infections occur when everyone is masked. Only 3 to 5% of COVID infections occur in the classroom. Previously, a close contact was defined as a person within 6 feet for more than 15 minutes, requiring that person to quarantine for 14 days. Now, if students or teachers remain 3 feet apart and are wearing masks in the classroom, where there is a positive case, quarantine is no longer required. A spokeswoman with the Hamilton County Health Department says the new mandate is a positive change.
Making sure that the kids, are masked up, sitting forward in a classroom. If they're no closer than 3 feet, then they don't have to quarantine and send all those kids home. So that was one of the big issues for us. 2 of them were substitute teachers because they were running low on teachers. And the other one was, every time one kid comes down with COVID, then we're having to send 20, 25 kids home to quarantine, which was making the classrooms pretty sparse. So I think the new mandates that are coming out of the governor's office is going to help our schools quite a bit.
It is important to note these new requirements are for the classroom only, not the lunchroom, band room, or in athletic situations. Tonight, an update from the state showing Indiana's current situation in this pandemic. The Indiana Department of Health confirms 1,764 additional cases of the coronavirus. Since the pandemic began, 639,711 people in the state have tested positive for COVID-19. The Department of Health also reports 55 additional coronavirus-related deaths. A total of 11,401 Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. And data from the state also shows that as of yesterday, 1,287 people were in Indiana hospitals for COVID-related reasons. That is the lowest number of hospitalizations since October 11th. When it comes to the COVID-19 vaccine, many people have questions, and some of those concerns revolve around potential side effects with the shots. Working for you, Jared Aarons with our Scripps team in San Diego helps us separate fact from fiction.
My throat started, I started doing this a little bit. I had my mask on and I told my husband, can you roll down the window? I'm having a little bit of problem breathing.
Cheryl Brennan was one of 6 people who had a severe allergic reaction to the coronavirus vaccine at Petco Park in January.
My blood pressure was registering 185 over 125. And I normally do not have high blood pressure.
Because of those 6 cases, the site closed for a day and Moderna pulled that batch of vaccines until it was deemed safe. But across the country, instances of severe allergic reactions to the vaccine are rare. The CDC says there have only been 21 cases in the first 7.5 million Moderna vaccines given, and 50 cases among the first 9.9 million Pfizer doses. However, allergic reactions aren't the only possible side effect.
Some fever, chills, minor flu-like symptoms, that sort of thing is the most common.
Dr. Susan Stone is the CEO of Sharp Coronado. According to Sharp, those symptoms, as well as soreness around the injection site, are normal. The CDC's V-Safe reporting system, an app where people can log their symptoms, shows 70% of people who got a coronavirus shot reported pain around the injection, 33% fatigue, 29% had headaches, and 11% reported either chills, fever, swelling, or joint pain.
Well, your body's building up an immune response, so having a little achy feeling is not unusual whatsoever and is not concerning at all.
But rumors persist that the vaccine can do more harm than good. Posts like this on social media seem to blame some people's deaths, including Hank Aaron's, on the shots.
There are a lot of rumors out there. There are a lot of stories out there. And it's so important for us as medical professionals to make sure that we're communicating out the real facts and that we're having an ongoing dialogue with our patients.
The CDC says there have been no cases where the vaccine caused the death. They investigate every instance where someone dies shortly after getting a vaccine through their vaccine adverse event reporting system. We pulled the latest report and found 250 people who died within a few days of getting the COVID vaccine. But a deeper dig into the data shows nearly all of them, 88%, had severe underlying health problems. 66% were already in long-term care facilities. 32 people were already COVID positive, and another 21 were in end-of-life hospice care. Dr. Stone says the numbers show the vaccine is safe, and the side effects, even if they're uncomfortable, are better than getting COVID-19.
None of us in the medical profession ever went into medicine to see that type of devastation. So we're all committed to getting vaccines out there and bringing hope to the end of this pandemic.
Well, that was Jared Ahrens with our Scripps team in San Diego reporting. To monitor for reactions, vaccine clinics keep people for 15 minutes afterwards, or 30 if you have a history of allergic reactions to vaccines. And if you have severe underlying health issues, the CDC says you should talk with your doctor before getting the shot. And a reminder now, people ages 65 and up can sign up to get the COVID-19 vaccine. To register, just go to ourshot.in.gov, or you can dial 211 to sign up. It is the pinnacle of the NFL season, Super Bowl Sunday. Tonight's matchup featured Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. And this game did not stay close for long. Brady, who, by the way, is 43 years old, led Tampa Bay to 31 points, but that was not the whole story. The Buccaneers defense smothered Mahomes all night and stopped the Chiefs' passing and running games. When all was said and done, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeated the Kansas City Chiefs 31-9. We'll have much more on this game coming up in sports.
My father, Paul, played college football here. Later, he coached 6 future pro players and was athletic director at one of Indiana's largest high schools. In March, he was infected with the coronavirus and passed away on Easter Sunday.
An unforgettable moment there. A commercial that aired tonight during the Super Bowl paid tribute to former North Central Athletic Director Paul Logan, who died from COVID-19. The Logan family is a football family. Paul is a Hall of Fame football player at the University of Indianapolis, and now his son, Will, goes there too. He's a junior student athlete. Will says his older brother played football as well, and his younger sister is a football manager at IU. The 30-second ad that aired was produced by the state of Indiana in hopes of encouraging Hoosiers to get vaccinated.
What do you think Dad would think?
Oh, he would have loved it. He definitely would have loved it. He probably would have teared up seeing it, but he definitely would have loved that commercial.
Will tells us he aspires to be an athletic director like his dad one day. He says the family hopes to have a gala to raise money for the Paul Logan Foundation, started just a few months ago. You can watch the full Super Bowl ad in this story right now on WRTV.com and the WRTV app. Healthcare experts concerned tonight about the coronavirus potentially spreading more and a possible spike in cases. We'll show you the reason why all eyes are on tonight, coming up next. Kyle.
The cold is here and it's not going anywhere anytime soon as we look at that temperature trend right through the upcoming week, all below average. I'll let you know if there's going to be a warming trend as we get a little closer to Valentine's Day. You're watching WRTV News at 11.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
Doctors and other healthcare experts are worried that the choices people are making tonight could lead to a spike in new COVID-19 cases. ABC News' Kenneth Moten explains why.
Some positive news in the fight against COVID-19. A Health and Human Services document obtained by ABC News shows there has been a 4-week downward trend in reported cases of the virus, resulting in a 50% decline since the peak on January 8th. But officials fear we could see a Super Bowl surge.
I am worried about today being a super spreader event. We've seen this after a lot of events and a lot of holidays.
This weekend marked 1 year since the first coronavirus death was reported in the U.S. More than 463,000 American lives have been lost since. A new study, not yet peer-reviewed, suggests cases of the highly contagious UK variant are potentially doubling every 10 days.
We can't afford to have the disease spread now. With these mutations and these variants, every time we allow it to infect more people, It gives the virus the opportunity to mutate.
The vaccine rollout slowly gaining momentum. The CDC reporting 9% of Americans have received at least one shot. Hundreds getting their second doses at this drive-through clinic in Texas.
We wish we were seeing a lot more supply. We have a lot of people in our community that are ready to get the vaccine.
Dr. Anthony Fauci tells NBC the supply issue should start to improve in the coming weeks.
So even though there's a clear discrepancy between the demand and the supply, that will get better as we get through February and into March.
Meanwhile, in cities across the country, the struggle to get kids and teachers safely back into the classroom continues. In California, 100 students at a single San Diego County school ordered to quarantine just 2 days after returning to in-person learning. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, New York.
Hiring Hoosiers is our commitment to connect you to employment opportunities, especially during this pandemic. It's time tonight for the job feed. Hiring Hoosiers partner Spherion has several open positions around central Indiana. In fact, they've posted 19 new jobs on the job board at hiringhoosiers.com. Hatchet Book Group in Lebanon is hiring for shipping, kitting, and picking associates. They also need night equipment operators, inventory clerks, and a manager of night operations and contact center representatives. For more information, find this post on the Hiring Hoosiers Facebook page. IMI is holding a career fair this week. They need CDL drivers. The open interviews are Thursday, February 11th from 5 to 8 p.m. at Indianapolis Marriott East. Again, you can find more information on how to sign up in this post on the Hiring Hoosiers Facebook page. Let's check in back now with Kyle.
Yeah, and that view from the Motor Speedway looking at the city, it's getting a little fuzzy out there now. Just stepped outside. We've got some flurries in downtown Indianapolis at this point. Still remains cold. That's not going to change. It's 10 and it feels like it isn't even 0 out there, even though that wind is only about 5 miles per hour. When temperatures are this cold, it doesn't take much of a wind at all to drive down that temperature even more. There's a look at the snow shower activity that's going to continue to slide into central Indiana overnight tonight, and we may see a few of those snow showers that linger across northern locations as we go into tomorrow morning's drive. So I think, again, as far as snow accumulations, only about a ½ inch of additional snow expected for us, but it could slicken things up here a little bit, especially as we go through the morning commute. As we check out our temperatures, we're in the teens tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. around 14 degrees. We will get a little improvement on those numbers as we go through the afternoon, getting back into the middle 20s, still below average, but warmer than today. More cloud cover, though. We're not going to see the bright sunshine like we enjoyed earlier, and we'll see those snow showers returning to the area as we get into the evening. Talking about that wind chill again, though, the wind chill number is going to be around 5 as you head out the door in the morning and the kids are heading off to school, so continue to just minimize your time outdoors here, even as we get into the afternoon. It's only going to feel like the teens as actual temperatures will make their climb into the lower 30s around Columbus at 30 degrees, just 29 in Bloomington and 27 in the Indianapolis area. So these are numbers that are about 10 to 15 degrees colder than what we would expect here in February. TrueCast as we get to 5 o'clock on Monday evening. Cloud cover and a little more substantial weather system is expected to roll in. Now, the model trend has been generally for this to take more of a southern track from the southern half of the state. But as we get into the overnight hours, we may see a few more of those snow showers working their way back to the north. Accumulations, again, through tomorrow morning going to be a ½ inch or less. Then as we roll through the day here, can see possibly another 1 to 3 inches of snow. Wouldn't be surprised, though, around Bedford, Seymour, keeping it all snow. You could see maybe 2 to 4, maybe some isolated 5-inch amounts there. Todd Clausen will have an update starting at 4:30 in the morning with the track and amounts. There's a look at your 7-day planning forecast. Another chance for some snow showers Wednesday, Thursday. And no, it does not get warmer next weekend. In fact, it gets colder for Valentine's Day, a high of 14, and that is after starting below 0.
All right, we're going to have to bundle up. Thank you, Kyle. Coming up, more Super Bowl coverage, but we're also highlighting the IU men's basketball team, a huge, maybe season-turning victory over a top 10 team. What head coach Archie Miller is saying tonight. Welcome back to the news at 11. Domination. That is how you can sum up the Super Bowl in one word. Tonight, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers dominated in nearly every aspect of the game to deny the Kansas City Chiefs back-to-back Super Bowl titles. 43-year-old future Hall of Famer Tom Brady threw for 201 yards along with 3 touchdowns to lead the Bucs' offensive charge. But Tampa Bay's defense absolutely made Chiefs star quarterback Patrick Mahomes uncomfortable all night. In all, the Bucs sacked Mahomes 3 times, but he was hurried the whole night, hurting his rhythm. Mahomes even threw 2 interceptions and didn't have a touchdown pass. The final score, the Bucs 31 and the Chiefs 9. Tampa wins its 2nd Super Bowl. However, this is Tom Brady's 7th Super Bowl win overall. And this season, the IU basketball team has been up and down, winning some big games and losing some too. Today, the Hoosiers came to play. IU took on the number 8 Iowa Hawkeyes in Bloomington this afternoon. It was a back-and-forth contest coming down to the final seconds. With the game tied at 65 and the time ticking down, sophomore guard Armand Franklin had the ball, then picked his spot. He drove and pulled up, hitting a jumper with about 1.5 seconds left in the game. And that proved to be the winner. IU defeated Iowa 67-65. This victory could be significant towards a potential NCAA tournament berth. Franklin finished the game with 4 points. Trace Jackson Davis scored 17 points and grabbed 12 rebounds to help IU emerge victorious.
You know, to be able to get back up here today and play another really good team like Iowa and be able to find a way, you know, hopefully gives us a shot in the arm and gives us some confidence that we need. But total team effort today, and that's not really coach speak. I mean, there wasn't one guy that checked in that game today that didn't do something to help us at a different time in the game. And I think that's the testament to their work ethic. I think our staff has done a really good job of just keep plugging away and getting guys better.
Well, next, the Hoosiers face Northwestern on Wednesday night. The 24th ranked Purdue Boilermakers will be back in action Thursday against the Minnesota Golden Gophers in Minneapolis. This comes after Purdue defeated Northwestern on Saturday. Freshman Jaden Ivey led for the Boilers with 20 points. And again, Purdue will take on Minnesota Thursday at 8 p.m. The Indiana Pacers in action today after losing 2 in a row. The blue and gold trying to snap their skid against the Utah Jazz at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. The Pacers and Jazz played a pretty tight game. Domantas Sabonis scored 20 points. Doug McDermott added 18 and Malcolm Brogdon chipped in 15 points. But it was not enough. Former Pacer Bojan Bogdanovic had 18 for Utah as the Jazz beat the Pacers 103-95. Indiana has now lost 3 games in a row and now have a 12-12 record on the season. Well, the Super Bowl may be over, but the football season is just beginning for one university here in Indianapolis. NAIA powerhouse Marian University has a spring football schedule after COVID-19 delayed the start of the season. The Knights' regular season starts Saturday, 6 days from now at home against Trinity International. Right now, the team has 8 games on its schedule, not including the playoffs if the Knights were to qualify for that. Butler and UIndy start their seasons later in the spring. We'll be right back.
All right, a little more light snow shower activity across central Indiana tonight, but accumulations a ½ inch or less. A little slick out there tomorrow morning. There's a look at that 7-day planning forecast. More snow showers tomorrow evening and then again middle of the week.
All right, Kyle, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us. Good Morning Indiana starts at 4:30. Have a great night.